This presentation is called Post-Secondary Transition Planning, Training for Parents and Caregivers of Diverse Backgrounds. The purpose of this presentation was to help parents and caregivers of diverse backgrounds prepare for life after high school with their student. Topics discussed in this presentation include an explanation of transition planning, Individualized Education Program or IEP meetings, goal writing, such as personal, educational, and employment goals, the role of the transition coordinator, the importance of parent involvement, and designing transition plans to meet diverse needs. What is transition planning? IDEA, or the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, defines transition planning as the preparation for graduating high school and determining the next best steps, whether it be college, vocational school, independent living, a career, or anything else. This planning must start at the age of 14 or sooner. And this planning happens as a part of the IEP, the Individualized Education Program. Transition services must be based on the individual student's needs, preferences, and interests. It must also include instruction and accommodations, related services such as occupational therapy, speech therapy, and physical therapy, community experiences, development of employment and other post-high school living objectives, development of daily living skills, and an assessment of the student's interests and skills. The IEP process. Each student with a disability served under IDEA must have an IEP developed by a team that includes the student with a disability, the parents and caregivers of a student with a disability, regular education teacher, the special education teacher, a school division representative like a principal or special education director, someone to interpret evaluation results such as a psychologist or social worker, other people with special expertise regarding the child at the parent's or agency's discretion, for example, an autism or mental health expert. The IEP transition plan has two parts. First off, post-secondary goals can be in 4 areas: learning a trade in vocational school, college or other schooling, jobs and employment, and independent living. Transition services include instruction, such as special education, related services like occupational therapy, speech therapy, and physical therapy, community experiences like volunteer work, career and college counseling, and help with daily living skills if needed. During the IEP process, students should be a part of their IEP teams as a part of transition planning. The IEP team is legally required to invite your child to meetings where transition planning is discussed. If your child cannot attend, their interests and desires must still be considered. Parents and family members can offer unique cultural expectations and opinions about transition goals at IEP meetings. Goal writing. IDEA requires that the IEP team talk about 4 topics for transition goals: training, education, employment, and independent living. Goals for after high school, called post-secondary goals, are based on a student's dreams for adult life. These goals should focus on the student's interests, preferences, and strengths. The goals must be based on the results of age-appropriate transition assessments. The IEP team should consider and discuss the family and students' cultural values and traditions when setting goals. The IEP team should also give information on programs in the community that the student might be interested in. The role of the transition coordinator. Transition coordinators bring together a transition planning team to create a yearly IEP transition plan. Creating a team. Who should be on it? The student with a disability, their family and caregivers, administrators, educators, education service providers, and transition service agency representatives. Creating a yearly IEP transition plan. What should be in it? Creating goals, activities, a time frame, expected results, evaluation plan, and data sources. Not all schools have a transition coordinator. Sometimes the special education teacher steps in to fill this role. In order to find out who will serve as your student's transition coordinator, talk to the IEP team. The transition coordinator provides leadership and helps teachers and the student and family to make the transition plan happen. They provide updates and feedback to the transition planning team, provide guidance and help as problems arise. They provide direction for evaluation of goals and activities, and they participate in the yearly IEP transition plan meeting to share the results of the plan goals. The importance of parent involvement. Laws about the education of students require parent involvement, such as the Individuals with Disabilities Education Improvement Act of 2004 and the No Child Left Behind Act of 2002. We know that when parents have high hopes and expectations for their child, they will do better in school and in life. It is the parent's job to tell the school and IEP team about important cultural values, beliefs, and traditions that need to be included in a student's transition plan for life after high school. Designing transition to meet diverse needs. Transition planning starts officially at age 14 for students with disabilities. Parents and caregivers should be given more information about the transition planning process early on. Schools should talk to parents and caregivers about making sure information is translated into their preferred language and that interpreters are present at all school IEP transition plan meetings. Thank you for listening to this PowerPoint.